Welcome to beautiful Accra, Ghana. We're here at Marsawmedia Studios. This is our first visit with anyone for the new year of 2025.
Amen.
And I'm so happy that we've made it into 2025. But what makes me even more happy is to have my good friend here, Dr. Michael K. Obeng. Now, for those of you that don't know him, you're in for a real treat because this young man has done some things that unless you follow medicine, you would not believe what he's done in the short time that he's been on this planet.
Amen.
And so I would like to introduce you to Dr. Michael K. Obeng.
Thank you so much. Troy is my friend, my boy from Houston, the Cowboy Troy. Cowboy Troy. Oh, you see the hat, the $1 billion hat, the shoes. It befits a kid, a cowboy, a real cowboy.
But see, here's the thing.
It's good to be on your show.
But here's the thing, though, Dr. Obeng, is that now I'm the cowboy, but you're the surgeon. And so you had your surgeon bag. Tell me about your bag. How did it all come into play?
And so this bag, the first one was given to me by a patient in Beverly Hills. And this is about 12, 13 years ago. Then one of my good friends, who's a designer, loved the bag so much that he took it apart and made me several bags, including all these beautiful skin. I love skin. I love PETA. But PETA should also understand that if we don't kill the animal will kill us first. It's survival of the fittest. So I love these bags. That's the story behind these bags. But it's always good to be here. It's good to be here with Troy. I really adore him. I commend him for all the great things that he's doing in Ghana, in sub-Saharan Africa. And I take my hat off to you because a lot of people who are not from here will not invest as much as you've done. Because as you already know, high risk, high rewards. It takes a real man of valor to invest in emerging economies. And congratulations to that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Obeng. I appreciate that. But, I think that today it's not so much about me. I really want to get into you, though. I appreciate that. But, I went out to visit Dr. Obeng in Beverly Hills because me having been in the healthcare industry, I had read about him. I had seen him on TV. And I was like, I want to meet Dr. Obeng. And so when I went out there, it was what I expected and more. I mean, he's a legend.
I think
Not only in Beverly Hills, but even here in Ghana, he's a legend. But the thing that really put him on the map, and you have to follow medicine, and that's what I did. And so there was this case where the young lady had put some type of glue, gorilla glue.
The gorilla glue.
Yeah, tell us about that. What happened?
No, but see, that's the tip of the iceberg. My surgical prowess goes beyond the gorilla glue. That was one of the easiest things I ever did. Of course, it boils down to science. It boils down to chemistry. Okay. In 2021, this young woman, after she ran out of got-to-be glue, which makes her hair stick out, she put gorilla glue. And unfortunately, after 10 weeks, she started having a lot of pain and she lost a lot of trust in the medical sphere. And fast forward, she was in my office in Beverly Hills. And lo and behold, by God's grace, we were able to take out the glue. And her hair is fine, her scalp is fine, and she's growing good hair. That goes all the way back down to my chemistry background. It wasn't that difficult. It was just coming up with a solution to be able to dissolve the glue, but at the same time, harmless to the skin. And that's what we came up with. And that's how we're able to help the young lady.
Yeah, but see, you're minimizing that. I see that you're minimizing that, and that's just based upon humility. But the truth of the matter is that there were many physicians
That's correct.
That were afraid
There were
to touch that.
There were a lot of doctors all over the world that was this a challenge. I took the challenge upon myself because to solve any problem, you have to take the problem and piecemeal the problem. We knew that it was Gorilla Glue. Okay, these chemical bonds, what can break it down? We have a solution that can break it down. And then, you extrapolate your mind. How do we make that solution harmless to an intact skin? And that was the challenge. That's what I was able to come up with, to be able to find a balance that does not harm the skin. And that's what we did. So yes, I'm minimizing it, but it's not, it's just putting your thinking cap on. It's very simple. Everybody wants to solve a problem and just want to solve a problem. But if you piecemeal a problem, if this is a problem, if you take this big problem and you chop it into 20 sizable portions and you solve every portion, you can solve the problem. And that's what we did for the gorilla.
How long was that surgery? How long was that process?
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
But when I first heard about the case, it was on a Monday. Monday, my staff told me. Monday night, I called around to learn about Gorilla Glue because I didn't even know what it was. Tuesday, I was able to get some of the ingredients, and I did my experiment in my office. And Wednesday, the patient came in, and we were able to dissolve the glue. She's gone on to do marvelous things. We were proud of her, but this was nothing. I love surgery. Surgery is what makes my world go around. If I heard the saying, to whom much is given, much is required. I love to do surgery. It's a lot of fun. It's not work. Being able to sit down, take a problem and take the problem and piecemeal it and solve the problem piecemeal, there's no greater feeling than that. And that's how you solve problems. You don't take a big problem and then people start a problem and they are baffled with it. If you take any problem can be managed in sizable amounts. And that's how I approach life. Take the whole problem, cut into little pieces, solve the little pieces. And every time I solve a piece, I move up. And that's how I solve my problems.
But see, that goes into your intellect. And so we all have a certain amount of intelligence.
It's true.
But there are some that intellectually they're greater than some of us. I would have never, put in the compartments where I could have broken it down in that manner. And so, when you talk about just your education, I mean, you start out in Ghana in school, right? And so you didn't go to college in Ghana.
Nope, I did not.
You left Ghana and you went over to
Texas.
And what did you go to school in Texas?
Midwestern State University, a small liberal arts college, Northwest Texas, the Texas-Oklahoma border. That was the school I found. I left Ghana at the age of 20, and I thought I was going to heaven. When I was going to America, it was heaven to me. At the time, Ghana was not this advanced, and there was no middle class. It was the rich and the poor. And, when you grew up on the side of town that I grew up, America was heaven. And when I came to America, I thought I was in heaven. I applied myself to all the heavenly principles, and God showed up big time for me. God has been with me since I left Ghana in 1993. And it's a breath of fresh air. To leave Ghana at a time where there was no hope, to go to America, and now I see all the potential in Ghana that is bringing me back, and I'm spending more time in Ghana. This year alone, or 2024, I spent about 4 or 5 months in Ghana. I came here 6 times. This is the most I've come. And the reason being, of course, is our pharmaceutical plant. We're going to build the largest pharmaceutical plant in sub-Saharan Africa. And I'm excited to be part of this plant. I'm excited to be able to afford medications that people can buy and take so that their disease process will be minimized. And I'm very excited about them.
So I know about this facility, and I know that it's a pretty large facility, but you're doing generic medications or drugs.
That's correct.
And this is throughout, these drugs will be moving around throughout Africa, or?
That's correct. So we are building the largest pharmaceutical plant in Ghana to make generics. Okay, there's something called API, acute pharmaceutical ingredient. This is the intellectual property of any drug. When that intellectual property expires, everybody has access to that formula. Based on this formulation, we make drugs out of it. So that's the plan. The plan is to make generic drugs, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, pain medication, antibiotics, anti-malarials. All these are little things that we can do to help the subcontinent. Thanks to the Continental Free Trade Agreement, medications that have been processed here, 60-70% of it, put together here, that qualifies us to be able to move our products throughout sub-Saharan Africa without any tariffs, and it will reach the masses. So that's where we're in. That's the business that we're in now.
So are the drugs affordable? I mean, because here I still have not come to understand the healthcare system, the insurance reimbursements, and just payouts for medications. I don't understand.
It's very different from our system in the United States. Here, I don't know much that's like you, but most people on their own when they buy medications. The insurance company, I don't think they go out of the limb to get medications. But these medications that we are making, we want to make it so affordable that everybody in Ghana will have access to clean, affordable, high efficacious medication. And the way we do it, grants. We do it through grants. We believe that nobody should forgo dinner, forgo lunch, in able to take their medication. And this medication is going to be made so cheap that everybody can afford it. And if you can afford it, we have grants that will buy the medication and give it to people.
Well, I tell you what's interesting. Um, I there's a drug that I use for my eyes. Back in the United States, my insurance paid for that drug. I'm allowed 2 bottles per 90 days, right? And if I run out, because I'm supposed to put a drop in the morning and drop in the evening before I go to bed. And if you run out, I have to go and purchase additional bottles. And I've had to do that ever.
How much is a bottle?
$250.
The average person cannot afford it.
Right.
In America.
That's exactly right. And I don't even want to pay that kind of money, $250 for a small 5 milliliter bottle. But here, the same exact drug that I'm paying $250 for, here on the counter, here's costing me $15. $15.
That goes to tell you how expensive our medications are in the United States. And of course, this process is something I've been working on for 6 years. I find out that most of the medications, the generics that we use in America come from India. Because of marketing and because of high cost of doing business in America, that's where you're paying $250. The same medication coming from India is $15. That's the true price of it. Actually, we want to make it even cheaper than $15 so that the average person in Ghana can afford it.
Wow. So that just goes to show you, though, how much of a markup there is.
So, the markup comes from the advertising.
The marketing.
The marketing. Marketing is very expensive in the United States. And, the same drug that you can sell in Brazil for $20, that drug is $200 in the United States. $11 in Ghana. Marketing in the United States. Marketing is, marketing insurance is very high, so it makes everything very expensive. In our neck of the woods, and is quite very different in West Africa, where the marketing cost is not as high.
What is your time frame? How much longer before you guys would be full-fledged and ready?
15 months. Once we break ground in March, we do the ceremony of groundbreaking in October. March is when we are physically breaking ground. And from the day that we break ground in March is going to take about 15 months. So by third quarter 2026, we'll be in business.
So not only are you a surgeon, plastic surgeon at that, you're also an entrepreneur. And so it goes back to the intellect.
It does. I call myself, yes, I'm a plastic surgeon by day. I'm a global health strategist at night. And, you know, after traveling through the continent, the world for 17 years, I have a great understanding of the healthcare system of the world. Yes, it's different, but at the same time, the core tenets are the same, and yes, I'm a plastic surgeon for everybody. Yes, I'm a businessman. When I see opportunities, I jump on it. And this pharmaceutical plant came around the last 17 years after traveling through all these cities, countries, continents, coming out to find the same common denominator, healthcare, is what is holding us back. And of course, when you are smart, you'll catch on these things. And that's what I grabbed on it. And now it's going very well.
It's amazing that you would go out there on the limb and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to step outside of what I do every day, and to take on such a massive uh, business. And I call it massive because I don't know of any other African American that I can think of that has ever tried that. Uh, and if they have tried it, I'm not familiar, don't know about it, because that's something that most of the others will take on. They had the financing, the monies, and for you to step out there and put your money on the line, that's courageous.
It's a big project. Yes, it's about $50 million. It'll be probably the largest plant in sub-Saharan Africa, but it comes to because of pre-planning. We plan ahead. This is something that, like I said, I've been working on since 2017, 2018, and it did not start yesterday. So since that time, I've been working on it. I've been searching data on the market, and everything is falling in place. Everything falling in place. I hope that the government can also help by educating. I think that the media, every month, every media house should donate at least an hour to do health education. It's very important. Without health, there's no wealth. Health is wealth. And I always tell people that pay attention to the health of your people, because once they are healthy, they will contribute to the GDP. That will increase wealth. So health is wealth. So we all need to put our energies into that. And until we do that, we're not going to see the outcomes, the great outcomes awaiting on the other side.
One of the things I've always wanted to ask, and I get to ask it today, well, that is, me owning, at one time, 13 medical facilities, medical clinics. And I know the challenges that come along with owning 13 medical facilities, being African American, and you're not supposed to make that kind of money owning those type of facilities. But for you to go into Beverly Hills and to be a successful plastic surgeon being Black, I mean, what were the challenges in just breaking through the barriers there?
I've always, yes, I look at myself and I always thank God. I believe that when you are talented in your skill set, there's nothing and there's nowhere that anybody can deny you. When I decided to go to Beverly Hills, it was a challenge for me. I wanted to go to the most competitive environment just to prove myself. My financial planner at the time told me I would not make it past 6 months. I like that. I like when people say you can do something. That really inspired me because somebody told me I'm not going to survive in Beverly Hills. When I moved to Beverly Hills in 2012, my financial planner gave me 6 months. I went ahead within 15 months. I was one of the most sought after plastic surgeons in 15 months. But that goes to tell you the body of work, the work that we do, everything that we do is measured by what the public sees. And, to go to an environment like Beverly Hills where nobody knows who you are, you're a young kid, new kid on the block, but your work speaks for itself. And because of my good works, because of the attitude that I carried, I was able to break in. And now I call Beverly Hills home. It's home. Most of my loved ones are there. And that's the place I've called home for the last 12 years. 12 years. And it's good. Yeah.
And your surgeries, what are you do mainly when you talk about plastic surgery? What do you do more of than anything else, or is there any?
I do the bread and butter, breasts, tummy, bodies, butts. But I pride myself in surgeries that nobody can do. Those are the surgeries that gets me excited. When I hear about a surgery that, we went to 4 doctors, nobody can do it. That's when I get excited because that's when I earn my money.
Like the challenges.
Yeah, I like the challenges.
Wow. And I saw where, I think it was last night I was reading, and I saw where you had basically donated about $80 million in surgeries. I mean, you've come to Africa, Ghana, and other places, and you've just given away your services over $80 million that could have gone into the pocket.
Yeah, too much is given, much is required. That $80 million is the amount of work that we have done. Okay, and it's not just me. It's a group of selfless healthcare volunteers. Without them, we would not have reached it. I have personally donated over $1 million to restore. Personally, the opportunity course is cost about $5 million from the work that I have lost in the last 16, 17 years. But it's a blessing. It's a blessing, and I do enjoy every moment, every time that we spend with restore patients. And that's my fabric.
But God truly has something for you, and you have really given back to the communities across the world, and that's a true blessing. And I'm so elated that I got a chance to sit down with you. It's not very often that you can meet a world-renowned plastic surgeon.
So thank you.
And get an opportunity to sit down and get his viewpoint on different things. So I appreciate that. But before I close out today, I would like you to tell the people exactly about what you are doing as far as the facility when it opens, uh, what your goals are, and even if you needed investors or whatever. I don't know if you need that, but you get to look into the camera and tell them what you would like to see happen.
So thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Troy, Crystal, the whole crew. It's truly an honor to be here sitting with Troy. And I'm sitting here because of Black excellence. I'm a plastic surgeon by day, a global health strategist at night, and an operator for a pharmaceutical plant to make affordable drugs. And the message for you today is that everything is possible if you set your mind to it. When we set out to do mikopharma, everybody said we couldn't do it. Okay. Now we are done. We are about to break ground. We're about to be making medications to solve heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes. Okay. And in the process, we are going to be the biggest distributor of generic drugs in West Africa. And I applaud you to try our medications. I applaud you to spread the news. And as Mr. Troy said, funding, we don't need funding. We all care with funding, but we want you guys to try our medications that we are going to be making the uh, state of the art, first class generic drugs. So help us God. Amen.
And let me say this. I know Doc, he minimizes quite a bit. But here's the thing, though. For those of you that are in Africa or in the United States, his facility in Beverly Hills is like no other. And so, Doc, make sure that you let the people know where they can get you in Beverly Hills when you're not in Africa.
All right. So, if I'm not here, and back to you, if hopefully this year I might open a satellite office here in Ghana because I'm going to spend a lot of time here during construction of the plant. But if you want to find me in Beverly Hills, you can find me at 435 North Roxbury Drive, Suite 100. And that's the home of mikoplastic surgery. So thank you very much. And I'm always available to answer your questions. And to the second note, this summer, my much anticipated show, The Surgeon's Surgeon, will be on Nubian TV. So be on the lookout. Nubian TV, The Surgeon's Surgeon. Thank you very much, Troy. Thank you for what you're doing. God bless you. And thank you for bringing Houston to our crowd.
Well, listen, I must say, I truly appreciate Dr. Michael K. Obeng for coming into the studios today to visit with us. But more importantly, you guys, if you need BBL, reconstruction surgery, you know where to go. This is the man. I have been to Beverly Hills, and I can tell you that he is the man. And so you don't have to go to Colombia, Turkey, Istanbul, Turkey. You can go on a 3-hour flight from Houston to LA and transport yourself right over the Beverly Hills. And I promise you, you'll go in and come out differently, and you'll make it back home safely.
And you'll triple your money. It's a gift that you send Jimmy.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thank you, Troy. My man. Thank you, Crystal, for putting this all together. Crystal Franklin pushed all this together. She and Adelaide, and I tell you what, man, it's remarkable how they get the different people into the studio. And this is Dead December in Ghana. And so they just have them lined up, and we truly appreciate them for what they do in running Marsawmedia. And thank you guys, and happy 2025, and make this a good year. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. So now make sure that you like, comment, so share this video, because it's not very often that we get to see this type of Black excellence in Ghana, as well as Beverly Hills, California, the one and only Dr. Michael K. Obeng.